Hey, my name's Andy. I have postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, or POTS, as some people call it. I was just making a video to put up and talk about it a little bit. I know there's like a lot of other videos with it, but there's no other videos with a guy. It's kind of cool, not cool at all, but there's very few guys that actually have it. So if you see me looking down, it's because I have my computer here. I'm going to be looking down. I posted in one of our like a POTS page on Facebook. So I guess start off by what is POTS. It's it's like a autonomic disorder, I guess. Can't think. It's an autonomic disorder that in your autonomic nervous system pretty muchly it controls everything in your body. Well, for people with POTS, it makes our blood not do what it's supposed to, pretty much, and that affects literally everything. Like the most common way is when you stand up, the blood pools in your legs and doesn't shoot back up to your brain to tell your, or back up to your heart or whatever for it to be pumped out evenly. It just pools in your legs, so you get really lightheaded. You feel like you're gonna pass out. So that's like the main thing. But I'll start off with like my story or whatever. In 2007, I was a freshman in high school, and I had gotten a really bad stomach bug literally the first day of school. And after I had having it for about like a week or two, it just kept getting worse. I kept getting spells where it felt like I was going to pass out and all kinds of cool stuff. And we eventually, after months and months and months and months, got into a doctor at Children's Hospital that said I had something congruent to orthostatic hypertension or orthostatic hypotension, and or POTS syndrome, and they wanted me to do a tilt table test. Well, back then I was having, I don't know, 15 to 20 spells a day where I felt like I was just gonna pass out, just black out and fall over. So a tilt table test is pretty much like torture for anyone that has POTS syndrome. So I of course didn't want to do it, and it took me about till 2 years ago I started feeling pretty good again, and we thought it was gone. And then fast forward to April of this year, which was 4 months ago now, I think. It came back pretty serious, and I guess that story is my father was in the hospital, and I was sitting in a hard chair, which that's no bueno, and I hadn't ended up feeling like I was gonna pass out, so I stood up, which doesn't help, but I was trying to get the blood moving. So I went and I sat next to my mom, and I was like, "Hey, Ma, I don't feel good." And she was like, "How do you feel bad?" And I was like, "I'm gonna pass out." And I just laid down and passed out. And then they rushed me to the ER, and I had EKGs done and all kinds of cool stuff, and everything came back fine, which is common. And then a few weeks after that, I started getting the faint spells again, and I knew it was happening. I was like, here we go again. So I went to my primary care doctor. I told him what's going on: chest palpitations, weak, tired, can't sleep, sick of my stomach really bad, feelings like I'm going to pass out, but I don't, all that kind of stuff. And he was like, all right. So he ran blood work on me. I had 3 or 4 EKGs, heart sonogram, just a whole bunch of stuff. And he ended up coming back after weeks and weeks and weeks of going back. He came back and said, "Oh yeah, you have anxiety." Well, that's what everyone says. Everyone says people with POTS, it's the most that's the most common misdiagnosis is anxiety. So I knew what was going on. So luckily, my mom, she found a doctor. It's like 45 minutes away from my house, 45 minutes to an hour, and then depending on traffic, like 2.5 hours, because like up in DC. And we went there, and he was real cool about it. He knew about it and knew what POTS was, which that's a really hard thing to find, is someone who knows what they're talking about when it comes to POTS. And he knew about it, and I went in there. It took me 3 months to get in, but after I got in, I went in on Thursday, and then on a Monday, I think, I had a tilt table test. I did the tilt table test, and there's a lot of horror stories from tilt table tests, but mine was pretty chill. They laid me down on a table, and yeah, all right. They laid me down on a table, and they like pretty much like sandpaper your skin and put like a serious EKG on you, and they do a blood pressure cuff and an oxygen sensor on your finger and all that, and then you're like laying down on the table. And the way the test is supposed to work is they're supposed to put you up at a 60-degree angle for 20 minutes, lay you down, and put you at a 90-degree angle for 20 minutes and lay you down. And if your pulse rate fluctuates more than 30 beats a minute and within those intervals, then you have POTS pretty much, or you have some kind of something like POTS. So when I went and did mine, I was laying down or whatever, and I think my pulse rate was like 70, I think. And then they stood me up at a 60-degree angle for 30 seconds, and my pulse rate went to 140, which is equivalent to like a normal person like working out. Like that's like a nice workout for someone. All I did was stand up, not even under my own will, at a 60-degree angle. So that's that. A lot of symptoms that you can have with it is pretty much anything. People are like, oh, what are your symptoms? They always come up to me, what are your symptoms? Name something. It's everything. Always tired, fatigued. You can probably tell I'm really tired right now. I haven't done really anything today. Upset stomach. You eat like nothing and you just feel like you're gonna throw up. Brain fog. That's what I have right now. I'm just like what's going on? You can't think of like what you want to say. Like, you know how you have something like on the end of your tongue and then you can't think of it? All the time. Faint spells, which I already kind of went over that. You'll just get a spell where you get, I don't want to say, I guess dizzy almost, and then you feel really weak, like you just can't, like, think of like the sickest you've ever felt, like in bed, like can't move. That's what it feels like. And then you're just like, all right, I'm gonna pass out, and then and you don't. But some people actually do pass out, which is not good, but luckily I don't really ever pass out very often. Insomnia, can't sleep ever. It sucks. Weak, always weak. Like weak and tired, I guess, is pretty much the same thing. It's just no energy to do anything. Lightheaded, just like walking or basic stuff. Just, all right, let's go to the grocery store. You get out of the car and you're just like, whoa, all right, I need to hang out for a second. I'm really lightheaded. Heart palpitations is probably one of the worst things. Pretty much it feels like you're about to have a heart attack. Like that's the only way I can put it, is your heart just, you can feel it beating. It sucks. Temperature intolerance. I'm sweating right now. I'm in the AC. I don't know what to tell you. It's you go outside, it's really hot, and then if you go in somewhere that's really cold, it's really cold. There's no like in between. Like sometimes I'm outside wearing a hoodie. It doesn't make any sense. Like, and it'll be like 80 degrees. Trouble breathing. There's a lot of people say they get that. There's a few different times that I've had it. I've actually been to the ER for it once. I've actually had it to where it was just like, it feels like it's really hard to breathe. I don't really know how to explain it. Another way I get it is it almost feels like the back of my throat is like closing up. It's weird. Is what it is, I guess. There's nothing you can really do about it. You just kind of hang out and it'll go away eventually. Chest pain, not all the time, but multiple times a day. Is just your chest just kills. It hurts. Some other stuff that people want me to talk about was, that's my transformer, if you can hear it. I have a transformer in my closet. It's my AC. Another thing that a lot of people don't really ever talk about is the different like bathroom symptoms. Since your blood's not going to where it should, like a lot of your organs don't function 100%. You get diarrhea, constipation, tremors, cramps, and then of course the blood pooling in the legs. Another girl said when your symptoms are much worse, when you're on your period, like your cramps in your period make it worse. And then one of the other girls put up a picture of her on hers and like what her blood pressure was and all that stuff, and it does not look fun. Luckily I don't have to worry about that. What else do I really want to go over? Living with POTS is it's kind of weird. Can't really do much stuff that normal people do. I'm pretty big into drag racing, and I take a lot of pictures and all that stuff, and like going to car meets and all that. And, like, walking around sucks because you run out of energy really fast, and standing up makes it worse. So I'm always having to find a spot to sit down, or all right, well, I'm gonna hang out this trailer for a little bit or something like that, and I just have to find a way to like pass the time. Another real big issue that I have is like towards like 9:30, 9:45 at night, I just start feeling terrible. I'm just like, all right, I can't do anything. Well, on like a Saturday night when all your friends are off work, they're all like, "Oh, dude, like let's go here, let's hang out here, let's do this." I can't do that. I'm too tired. I just sit at home and play Xbox. Is what it is, I guess. Other than that, never ride a roller coaster. I made that mistake a few times. That was not a good time. I don't know. It's just it's hard to like explain to people how you feel, because some days you have good days and some days you have bad days. Today's actually a pretty good day. I'm not super crazy tired and I felt pretty normal. But yeah, another thing I guess to go over is the medicine. There's a few different types of medicine that people or that doctors will prescribe. Some people on beta blockers, which are for your heart. I'm not on those. I'm on a medicine called Florinef. I think that's what it's called. I'm on a medicine called Florinef. Don't really notice much of a difference, but some people it makes a huge difference. There's also another one. It starts with a D. I'll put it in the description below. I forget the name of it, but they tried to put me on it and it made me worse, which is like completely backwards. Supposedly it's like a miracle drug and it helps a lot of people out. What else did I have? Where to find useful info. This is probably going to be the funnier part of the video. Honestly, I didn't really know much about it. I googled it, and if you ever WebMD it, my WebMD said I had chronic heart failure, which apparently it's wrong, because I've had a million EKGs and stuff like that. So the main place I found info about it is Tumblr. Tumblr is pretty cool. There's a lot of pages on Tumblr for people that have POTS. And there's also a few Facebook groups, so just search them up and check them out. Whenever I feel really bad, I just get on Tumblr, and like there's people that have it so much worse than me, and I just look at them and I'm like, alright, like if they can handle it, I'll be alright. There we go, stop recording. But yeah, Tumblr and Facebook are the main things that I went and checked out when I start feeling bad. What else is there? Pretty much it. I mean, it's just autonomic disorder. I can't think now. I know since it doesn't really since having POTS, your blood doesn't really like move around where it should, and everything's all messed up. I have the issue with I guess when you eat food, your body digests the vitamin D somewhere in your body. Apparently mine doesn't work like that. I have an extreme crazy low amount of vitamin D, so I'm always getting blood tests and checking out my vitamin D levels and stuff like that. Currently I'm taking 7,500 milligrams of vitamin D a day. Like most people only need like 5,000 for the week. I take 7,000 a day. So there's stuff like that, like little stuff that like blood work, you can check that out, and like your doctor will tell you, oh, you're low on this, because a lot of times when you have it, there's also other things that are going wrong as you have it. So I would definitely say get that checked out. What do I do to feel better? I eat really crappy. I eat really crappy food. I think that has something to do with my vitamin D deficiency, because when you eat fatty foods, it slows down your metabolism, and it allows you to digest a little bit better. So I guess I get more vitamin D. Like I take my pills and eat really crappy food, like McDonald's, Burger King, like all that stuff every day. And it's also really high on salt. And when you have POTS, salt is very important. There's two best friends, is salt and water. There's always a bottle of water near me. I try to drink 3 liters of water a day, and you try to do the salt because it raises your blood pressure. So water, salt will raise your blood pressure, which will make you feel a little bit better, and water gives you more blood volume. So the more blood you have, the better off you are. That's pretty much it, though. I mean, feel free to message me on here if you have any other questions. I'm also on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I mean, not Twitter, Tumblr, all that stuff. So, cool.